think a lot of people don't realize how powerful nutrients can actually be for stress, and a lot of people don't realize that they probably are deficient in B vitamins. And a lot of times for me, like if I'm dealing with a lot of stress or like overwhelm or some other kind of stressor on the body, like being sleep deprived or something, then even more than like the recommended daily amount of B vitamins can be super helpful for me. Like one time that I noticed this for the first time was when I was like really sleep deprived actually, and I forgot that I had taken like this B complex, but I suddenly felt like really good, like way better than I did for the beginning of the day. And I suddenly felt like amazing. I was like, what did I do? Like, what happened? What changed? And then I remembered I took it, and then I kind of like repeated it and tried after that, and I realized like it does make a difference for my mood. You need B vitamins to process your neurotransmitters, which are like your feel good hormones in your brain. So like serotonin, dopamine. Some people really need those methyl donors, like even if they get enough B vitamins, which most people don't. If you track your nutrient intake, you'll find that you're actually really deficient on a daily basis, and you can check that on an app called Chronometer. But some people have like DNA irregularities, basically. Like most people have some form of irregularity in their like genetic expression that will make it so it's just not optimal, and they need some kind of support to help optimize like their genetic expression, which can come in the form of like increasing or reducing your cancer risk or like your neurotransmitter function or other things. So it can be a major help, and it can help you feel like super happy, not to mention like reduce your stress. Another one that's amazing that people absolutely need to know about is potassium. It can actually reduce your blood pressure. That's how powerful it is. And like the vast majority, or actually I think it's like 50%. No, it's the vast majority of the population get only like 50% the daily requirement of potassium. And like for me, as someone who's like in the nutrition field, who's like aware, like no matter how hard I try, it can be really hard still to get even like 75% of the daily requirement of potassium. So I always supplement with it before bed. If you're like feeling really on edge or overwhelmed, that could be a huge lifesaver for you, and it could really make a difference. Like for people that just like run on cortisol, which is like your stress hormone, they could absolutely be low in potassium, which is actually needed for optimal adrenal gland function, which is like your stress handling organs. So if you're not giving those what they need to like function properly, then you can feel like out of whack, and you might just accept that as like how you're supposed to feel, and you may have like never even experienced what it's like to have an optimal amount of that nutrient. But it is really important that you get it in like a balance. So it's even important to make sure that you're not having too many potassium rich foods all at once, just in case your electrolyte balance is sensitive. So I recommend my clients take potassium in a food form that is salted. So like sweet potatoes, coconut water with a pinch of salt potentially, or just like don't have a bunch of coconut water to like really potentially throw off your levels if you're already like sensitive to that imbalance. Because some people need like more salts. Depending on how sick you are, you might need more sodium. So not everyone can just like take this basic amount and be like good. It's a delicate balance when it comes to electrolytes, especially sodium and potassium. But other sources are like beans, winter squash, leafy greens, avocado, and tomato. And then magnesium is really important if you're not taking that. Most people need to simply supplement with it because it's also hard to get enough of, at least 400 milligrams per day. But that's another one that you want to take before bed because it can be so relaxing, and it can almost feel like sedating in some cases.